Hi, it's Jon Cronshaw here with my author diary for the weekend in November the 13th, 2022. I've had a bit of a rubbish week in terms of work. I've been working on my book Crucible of Shadows, so I'm about 11,000 words away from the end of my redraft of that. But over the past couple of days, I've had eye strain. So what I've done instead is I've been doing dictation, kind of working on my next book, which is the Ravenglass Legends book. So I've been dictating some chapters for that. Yeah, the eye strain's no fun. And yeah, I was thinking earlier, like this past few months, I feel like every other author diary I'm moaning about something like COVID or seasonal affective disorder, and now it's eye strain. So hoping that that's the three, and now can kind of go forward and everything will be sunshine and rainbows and all that stuff. But yeah, the projects, I mean, they're going well, as well as I can do with everything else. Last weekend, I mentioned it in last week's author diary that I went back to Wolverhampton to scatter my dad's ashes. So he took his own life. What was it, August 2019? So that was, that was sad. But it was, it was nice to get together with my brothers and brother and sisters and my uncle and stuff, and just kind of say a few words, because when it was his funeral, it was a bit raw and I didn't have anything to say. A few years have passed now, so I was able to do a bit of gratitude, which is always good to do. So yeah, it was really nice to see them, and I'm going to go back in a few weeks and spend time with them properly in less of a sad situation. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it was worth doing. There was some closure there. When the thing happened, my brother, he was away in America, so he didn't actually get to go to the funeral. So I think that was nice for him to get closure and for it to be done, I don't know, in a way that felt more fitting. So yeah, so in terms of reading, one of the things I did on the way to Wolverhampton and back was me and my wife listened to Waxing On by Ralph Macchio. So yes, he is the guy behind Danny LaRusso in The Karate Kid. So this was basically a memoir of his association with Karate Kid and Cobra Kai. So yeah, if you are a fan of Karate Kid, Karate Kid 2, Karate Kid 3, Crossroads, Cobra Kai, this is a book for you. Yeah, he read it as well, so that was great. And it was actually a really fun kind of memoir. Lots of fun stories. He seems like a decent guy. He seems like he's very protective, and he's proud of what he's done. He's proud of his legacy, and he's quite protective of that. So that is cool. There was a lot of sincerity. That's the word I'm looking for. Sincerity to how he felt about it, and he was really careful about going into Cobra Kai and things like that. So yeah, interesting, very interesting listen. Also listened to an audio book called Cultish, which is about cultish language and how that's used in cult organisations, whether that's, I don't know, Scientology or Heaven's Gate, but then down to things like multi-level marketing schemes and exercise fads and things like that. So it was very interesting. On a completely unrelated subject, as my followers, I would hope that you will do all you can to support me, and if you can get to the next waystone in your journey, then that will unlock the next step in your life. So I will be there for you as your guru, as your mentor. So please send me cash. Yeah, so as well as reading that, I also read a book called Republic of Lies, which was all about kind of a bit of a history, I would say, from about the 1950s, something like that, of conspiracy theories, conspiracy culture in America. So it was like stuff like the John Birch Society, all through to whatever craziness has been going on in America over the past few years with the QAnon and all that. So yeah, very, very interesting read. It's interesting how much the what was it? There was basically a fraud document that was made by Russian intelligence which I did about during my PhD, actually, called The Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion, which is basically a fake text outlining the so-called Jewish takeover of the world. And a lot of people bought that. And it's still kind of filtering out, maybe there's different conspiracies where they don't blame the Jews directly. So things like the globalists or the New World Order, whatever you want to call it. But it's interesting to see how many of those kind of cultures overlap. And it kind of does actually fit quite well with that cultish book that I was reading as well. A lot of crossover there. I'm also reading a fiction book. So this is called 1,000 Suns. This is part of the Horus Heresy series. So, kind of grimdark sci-fi, Warhammer 40,000 stuff. Easy read. Just trying to get back into fiction because my head has not been in it. And this stuff's always just, it's kind of popcorn reading to me. So definitely enjoying that. So yeah, next week then. What am I doing next week? We'll see. It depends on my eyes, really. Hopefully having a rest this weekend will recharge them and I can get at least, maybe a few thousand words more done of this Crucible of Shadows thing. I'd like to get to the end of it by the end of the month. I think that's possible. But I don't want to push it because I don't want to get eye strain again. I'm also, if I can't do that, I'm just going to dictate more scenes for this next book. So whatever, I'll be doing something productive. So until next time, cheerio.